about Vinny. For my last pick, I'm looking at the pass rush. And honestly, I wish you would have made life easier for me, man, because I'm looking at two guys right now. I'm struggling with it internally. But the guy I'm going to go with, who's had a good training camp so far, is I'm going to go with Kevin Givens.
Okay.
I want to talk about Kevin Givens really quick. If you look last season at PFF's pass rush win rate grade, out of all the interior defensive linemen for the 49ers, Kevin Givens and DJ Jones led them all in pass rush win rate. And if you go back to 2019 when the 49ers had Buckner, obviously, Buckner was actually behind Kevin Givens in terms of pass rush win rate in 2019. In fact, DeForest Buckner was at 13% win rate. Givens was at a 16.7 win rate. Last season, he was around 13-12%. So this is a guy who is really just done super well in terms of the pass rush. And then this training camp in specific, it seems like he's getting more first-team reps. It seems like he's getting more opportunity. And with Javon Kinlaw struggling seemingly and him missing practice and him not playing in 11-on-11s, missing time, it seems like the 49ers are going to need other answers at those positions. So having guys like Kevin Givens and DJ Jones is going to be hugely important because specifically with the pass rush, I think people need to realize is having that four-man pass rush like the 49ers had in 2019, it's great. It's awesome, right? But the problem with that is that it's more prudent to have 7 good pass rushers than it is to have 4 great pass rushers because throughout a game, throughout the length of a season, guys get tired. You're not going to be able to rely on them all the time. And you want to bring defensive linemen in terms of in waves of units. So you don't want to have to rely on 4 guys all the time. So for the 49ers, if they can have DJ Jones, Eric Armstead, Dee Ford, Nick Bosa as their starters with Kevin Givens, Arden Key, Samsun Ebukam behind them, Vinny, I feel like that is a deep pass rushing room. And
definitely.
I'm really excited for Kevin Givens. I think this is going to be the season when he really breaks out.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, it's really good having 4, 5, 6 guys on that interior. And it seems like, a lot of teams are kind of focusing on just more edge help, but the Niners are kind of seemingly going more towards interior help. So maybe this could be a thing where, like Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers like to do. They play, they're playing chess, everyone else playing checkers. So, Kevin Givens, I think, has been a pretty good player. I think DJ Jones, like you mentioned, has been even better. And I think that's really going to be good for this team definitely this year, just the different looks that they can give. Like you mentioned, Givens, DJ Jones, Katavius Street, Zach Kerr. Even you can, like you mentioned, you can put in Armstead. And sometimes there were times in 2019, even when Bosa was playing on the interior too. So they got a lot of options of what they can do, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all kind of plays out.
Yeah, I think it'll be super interesting. One guy I want to give a shout out to before we get into the bad of training camp is Arden Key. He caused a fumble between Trey Lance and Trey Sermon, and I just want to give some other stats because I was looking at pass rush win rate specifically. It's what I've been doing a deep dive into recently with Arden Key specifically. He averaged a 14% win rate on pressures. That was first on the Raiders for like the last 3 seasons. And if you look comparatively, a guy like Dee Ford was at 15% in 2019. So that is a near damn elite pass rusher in terms of
that also just comes to show how good Dee Ford is. And that was 15% on limited snaps, right?
Exactly. It was on limited snaps, limited situations. You didn't have all the sample size like you'd have from other guys. So for him, for 15+%, it's huge. He was second on the team when he had that. So having a guy like Arden Key, bringing him in who's at 14%, I think it's only going to help.